guys. Hi. We'll just wait for Leonard to join us. I hope you're excited. Hi. So today we're just gonna be cooking, baking, chatting, having fun with all of you. I'm in Singapore. I'm at home now. Super. Yes, it's super. I hope you've all had a great weekend. Have you all had lunch? Hi. Lots of the emoticon. Hi. What am I cooking? I'm actually gonna be baking something later. I'm doing something called chouquettes. It's choux pastry with sugar on top, which is a great snack, and it's easy to make. Waiting for Leonard. He's coming in.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi everyone. How are you?
Okay, good.
How's your Sunday going?
Okay. Actually, I'm quite nervous because I've never done a cooking session online before.
Uh-oh.
So
You're the
I spent the
actress and you're
morning.
nervous. What does that make me, right?
But you're kind of used to this, right? Like Instagram,
Not really. I'm not used to
cooking.
cooking for people live, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it'll be a first for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But how's circuit breaker treating you?
Um, Actually, I kind of like staying at home because I'm
Mm,
not home most of the time. I'm traveling for work and all that. So I've always been a homebody. But the thing is
mm,
now, because I stay alone, I can't really go visit my parents and all that as freely as
yeah.
I used to. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the kind of downside to it. Mm,
Okay. Because for me, I'm living with my parents. My
mm.
two sisters have moved out, so we don't get to eat dinner together anymore. But recently, we just started like doing Zoom calls during dinner so that we can still see each other while we're eating. So it's like at
Yeah.
least we get some like family time in. Yeah.
Yes, I think Zoom is not just for meetings as well. Because like a group of
Yeah.
friends, we actually like tried Zoom like meetings, like meetup gatherings online. So
Yeah.
that's quite fun.
And actually, like I realized that like eating while being on like a video call is actually quite fun because you can still chat and it feels like you're actually there with them. Especially if you wear like
Mm-hmm.
headphones, right? It feels like you're
Mm-hmm.
hearing someone's voice in your ear. Yeah.
Oh yes. Kind of you
Okay,
can
so I
still
I
be
think
close to each other.
yeah,
Oh, my neck
definitely.
is so
Even though you're
red.
not
Yeah,
physically,
I don't know why. I think
is
because
it?
I'm very
Were you
nervous.
cooking today?
No, not today, but I was preparing everything for this live session. Yeah,
Okay.
so just want to make sure I get everything down.
So what have you been doing during this like circuit breaker?
Mm, I've been baking quite a bit, but I'm
Hmm.
also trying to do a little bit more painting because I'm
Okay.
hoping that I can prepare for my next book. Yeah, so
Oh yeah, the
writing my
Peranakan
script
one,
as
right?
well.
The
No,
last one was the
no,
Peranakan
because
one.
I've actually got this uh illustration book, so I'm thinking
Right.
if I could do a second series to that.
Nice.
Yes, what
Uh,
about you?
what have I been doing? That's a good question, actually. Uh, I think I've been cooking a lot more. Definitely
Mm,
spending time with my parents because I think like when all the kids grew up, like we stopped having like so many family dinners together. But now, like since everyone is on lockdown, we've been having so much family time. So it's nice to actually have that. I've been cooking, I've been exercising at home, which is a struggle, but you make do with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
I recently bought a I bought a piano
You play?
and I actually don't know how to play. I don't even know how to read musical notes, but
So you
I
want
kind
to
of
learn?
like yeah, I like listening to piano playing on YouTube, so I figured like why
Uh-huh.
don't I try learning it online? And it's
Yes.
actually a lot tougher than it looks, so we'll see how it goes.
But that's good. Learning something new.
Yeah. Okay, so actually,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of learning something new, I'm going to do the dish that I posted about recently,
Okay.
which I guess
Yes.
everyone or almost everyone got right, except for one person that
Mm-hmm.
guessed muati. And I want to say, I don't know where you're having muati that has spring onions in it, but actually it sounds quite interesting. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the dough for the cong yu ping. So the dish I'm making is cong yu ping. Cong means
Mm-hmm.
spring onion, yu means oil, and ping just means like pancake. So it's very simple. The dough is just two parts all-purpose flour and one part boiling hot water. So you pour the boiling water into the flour and then you just mix it up. And then you let it rest for 30 minutes so that the gluten has time to relax. And then you just roll it out like this as kind of as flat or as thin as you can get it. So the thinner you get it, the more layers you will have in your cong yu ping. And then to this, we are just going to brush on a paste that I made with one part flour to one part sesame oil.
Okay.
So if you're really lazy, you don't have to put the flour. The flour just kind of helps to thicken. I don't know if you can see how thick it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps it to not, helps the oil not leak out so much when you're rolling it up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are strapped for time, you can do it without as well. So you just
Okay.
brush it
But
all
this is
over.
easier, right?
Uh, I find it easier because when you roll it, right, the oil tends to want to spill out. So if you thicken the
Mm.
oil, it kind of keeps everything like inside a bit better. Okay,
What
so
kind
to
of
this we
flour are
are
you using?
just regular all-purpose. So
Okay.
this
And
dish is
someone
like
is
really simple.
asking,
It's oh yep.
someone's asking parts. Like how do you measure the parts? Like one
Oh,
part
by
flour.
volume. So
Okay.
just like 1 cup of flour to sorry, 1 cup of flour to half a cup of water. And then spring onions, you just kind of go as much as you want. I suggest putting more.
More is always good.
Yeah. And I mean the nice thing about this is that it's all like pantry staples apart from the spring onion, which is perishable. Like the flour, I guess most people have flour in their kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sesame oil, I guess, is also like a staple in Asian pantry. So you don't really have to go out and get like extra ingredients because you all should not be going out unless necessary.
Or like make deliveries.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been going out much actually, just to buy like groceries, maybe like once or twice a week.
Mm.
Um, I've been eating a lot more stuff that's not so perishable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
things that last a bit longer, like root vegetables and even like frozen vegetables these days. The quality and the nutritional value is as good, if not better, than fresh fruits and vegetables. So
Yeah.
spring onions just go all over. By the way, I cannot see
So
what I'm doing, so if like if the angle is bad, please let me know.
you can move it more to your right,
To
or
my
move your
right.
camera more to your left. Yes.
Okay, that's better. So just spread the spring onions out. You can put more, but I ran out. So unfortunately, we have to make do. We have to make do. It's a circuit breaker
Mm-hmm.
recipe anyway. And then you just kind of roll it into like a spiral like that. So it's actually quite fun. It's so simple and really the only ingredients you need are sesame oil, spring onions, and flour
Mm-hmm.
to get it into this kind of
How thin do you roll out the dough?
as thin as I can possibly go without tearing it because the thinner you get, the more layers you will have between the within the cong yu ping.
Right.
Okay, so the secret to the layers is actually like a super cheap way of laminating dough where you take the dough and then you kind of twist it into a spiral like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it looks like a snail almost, like that. And then from here, right, you just kind of, so you tuck this, the end underneath so that it doesn't spill out. And then you just kind of roll it out gently like so.
So yes, a
And
lot of
that's,
people are asking also, do you add eggs and only these three ingredients? So really
yeah,
it's just these three ingredients, right? No
yeah,
eggs
yeah.
required.
That's kind of why I chose the recipe, because I think it's everyone will have the ingredients in their house lah. And honestly, if you don't have the spring onions, I tried using like bak kwa, I tried using cheese, I even tried making a chocolate one the other day.
Wow.
I think it's like you can actually use up a lot of things you have left over in
Just
your
get
pantry or in your
creative,
fridge.
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's, I mean, the base is just a generic pancake, which is neutral
Mm-hmm.
flavored, right? So you can make it salty, you can make it sweet, you can make it westernized if you want, because you know, like flour and water basically doesn't taste like Western or Asian, right? It can just be anything you want.
But
So this
if
is,
it's like with a sweet ingredient, would it actually go with sesame oil?
yeah. So I would change it to like maybe butter and flour
Mm,
as the thing that you brush on. So this is
okay.
pretty much like ready to go already.
Mm.
And you can see like if you roll it
Looks
really
good.
thin,
Yeah.
yeah, the scallions kind of peek out through the dough, and it's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me transition to my pan. Okay, so you need some oil in a non-stick pan, and then make sure it's hot. Okay, it's not hot enough. It's okay, I'll just leave it on and let it basically like fry in the oil until it gets
Mm-hmm.
really, really nice and golden crispy. So you can see that the edges are starting to sizzle. So that's what you're looking for.
How
And
long do you fry it until it's like nice
uh,
color?
yeah, basically I just like check the bottom every like maybe 1 to 2 minutes to make sure that it's got the color I want, and then I flip it. And
Mm-hmm.
I would say like maybe 2 minutes on each side, more or less.
Okay. That's quite fast.
Yeah, it's super fast and it's like super easy recipe as well. And that's why I chose it for today because I'm lazy.
Are there any other easy recipes that you can recommend?
um, I actually did this post on my IG where I was talking about how, like, since everyone is cooking at home now, right? Like, when you cook rice, it's actually so convenient to cook like a big batch of rice and then just chill that leftover rice in the fridge. And with like cold rice, you can make like chao fan, you can make stir fried rice, you can make like pao fan, you can make porridge, and it's like if you have the rice already pre-cooked, it's like a 10-minute meal in one pot. So it's super super convenient. And I think that, and in this time, right, you shouldn't be going out to like test all these super complex recipes that require like different ingredients from different places
Mm,
because you want to
yeah,
minimize the amount of travel and the amount of time you spend outside.
I
Yeah,
agree. So simple
yeah.
is good for me as well.
Yeah, so tell me about what you're doing.
Um, well, because like now I'm trying to do quite a bit of stuff that I've never had time to, like painting and writing my script for my next short
Yeah,
film,
yeah.
and also baking. Um,
Hmm.
I happen to be taking a bit of orders from friends. Yeah,
Okay,
so that's keeping me busy as well, which is all good.
that's good.
Just sharing some love around.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I think that
It's
we
yeah,
can still be connected in different ways, you know? Yeah, so I
definitely,
think that's
yeah.
nice. Mm,
So I think like for me especially like the first week of circuit breaker was a bit tough because I was like I had no direction, so I didn't even know like what time it was or what day it was. But since the second week, I've like woken up at a set schedule and I plan out my day very carefully, so that I have a sense of like, okay, like I'm gonna work until this time to this time, and then I'm gonna stop and have a rest. So it feels like there's more structure to my day, lah. And I think that's important during the circuit breaker as well.
because now you don't have to go into the kitchen for work, right? So you actually
No,
bring
I
your
don't.
stuff back, and
Yeah.
what do you do back at home?
I do, because we just launched our social media platform for my company,
Mm,
Mila. So I'm doing more like social media content for them. So I'm cooking more recipes, but also I'm trying to think in terms of like the time that we're in during this circuit breaker. People want to eat stuff that's more healthy. Because I think like generally when I eat at home, I want the food to be more tang lah, more light, less salt.
Mm,
And I think people want that as well because if you keep eating like super rich food every day, it's like not really sustainable. Wait, I'm going to show you what a pancake looks like now. It's almost done.
okay.
Ta-da!
Wow, that's very
Yes.
fast.
Yeah, it's super fast. So if you get your oil like nice and hot, you will get
So
like you can see like
this
super
is what you
crispy.
want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I don't know. I prefer it where it's like a bit crispier on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and then inside will be like nice and flaky. So yeah, so my cooking portion is done. Yeah.
That's very fast.
So I'm gonna
I think
transfer
mine will
this
take some
onto a
time
tray.
actually.
Okay, then you should probably get started,
Uh-huh.
and I will take over.
Okay. All right.
So tell
So
everyone what you're doing
I
because I haven't seen
I'm actually making chouquettes, which is basically
ooh.
choux pastry with sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really simple snack that it really depends on how big you bite. I like it small so I can just pop the whole thing in my mouth.
Of course,
It's
bite size.
yeah. But if you want to make it bigger and you want to eat it with other stuff, like you have Nutella at home or
Mm-hmm.
anything, or if you don't have the sugar nips, which is the big bits of sugar, you can actually just bake it plain and then dust icing sugar over, and you
Right.
can just have it like that, which is really nice. It's really simple, so we only need milk, water, butter, salt, sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and flour. Yeah.
Oh, I can actually make
So
that like now,
yes,
so I don't have to go
yeah, you
out. Perfect.
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I basically have the milk, water, butter, salt, and sugar in the pot. You gently melt it, like gentle flame, low heat.
Mm-hmm.
And then once everything is melted, you bring it to a boil. And
Mm-hmm.
when it's nice and bubbly, that's when you add the flour in,
Okay.
and then you turn off the flame and put the flour in, and then you mix. It should all come together very, very nicely.
I
Yeah.
see.
So I'm
So
waiting for it to
it will
boil.
form a dough as you're stirring in the pot lah, basically.
Yes, and after that, that's when you add the eggs. So we need eggs as
Ah,
well. Yeah,
okay.
because you add the eggs to get the consistency you want to do the piping and to actually get the choux pastry right.
So is there like a secret to making good choux? Like I don't know, something that you learned in school or something that you learned from trial and error?
Um, so the right consistency is very, very important. Yeah,
Okay.
so later I will show you when we add the eggs in and all that, and I'll show you what we are looking for. So if anyone wants to try, uh, you can. So someone says, show me the pot. So it's like that. I can't show you. I'll tip all the liquid out, but it's now coming to a boil. When it's nice
Right.
and bubbly, then we add the flour in.
Okay.
It's just normal all-purpose flour. Yeah.
Right.
So no need for cake flour or anything like that. So now
What's your favorite like filling for choux pastry?
I like chocolate. So okay, hold on, it's bubbling. So I just pour the whole thing in, and then I mix.
Mm-hmm.
Just be patient, it'll all come together. I kind of like to make a crackling top, which basically it's like kind of like a streusel top that you bake together with the choux pastry, and when it's in the oven, it melts and it forms a layer over the
Ah, is that
choux.
like a polo bao kind of that
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
flour and sugar and
Yes,
butter thingy?
yes,
Oh, I
yes.
love that. I can just eat that all
Yeah,
day.
so you roll it out, you freeze, and then you cut into little circles. And then after that, when you're ready to bake on the piped choux pastry, you just put it over, you bake it, and it will just fall nicely.
Wow, okay. I wish I had that
Okay.
much energy to put in that much effort into choux.
And then if you're up for some more like fancy stuff, you can make chocolate ganache and pipe it in.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like chocolatey. So after you mix, it should all be like that.
Right.
And it should just
Looks
fall
like
out of the.
looks like mashed potato.
Oh yeah, yes. So it should just fall out of the pan pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then now that it's in the bowl, you just want to kind of release as much steam, let it cool a little bit before you add the eggs.
Right.
Because
Otherwise
you
the
don't
eggs
want to cook.
will cook. Right. Okay.
So I've seen videos where they just leave the dough out there to cool, but
Right.
I guess we can just like work it with yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it also depends on like what your like ambient temperature is wherever you're working as well, right?
Yes. And basically I kind of
Jeanette, someone is asking if you can tilt the cam down so we can see the dough.
because it's like a huge iPad.
Or maybe you
Is
just
this
like
better?
put the just hold the camera above to see the dough for like a few seconds.
Like
Yeah,
that?
okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
So
see it.
you
Okay.
just want to cool it down a little bit before you add the eggs. You need about 3 to 4 eggs, and you add it in one by one.
Right. So this
It's a
dough will
long
take like how long
process.
to make from start to finish?
I would say maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's actually really fast.
Yeah.
Do you have
I
to
mean,
rest the
it
dough?
really depends on how fast. No, you don't.
Okay.
So once it's ready, you can pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we
Awesome.
add the first egg in. Yeah.
So was this
The
something that
thing
you've done
about this
before,
is,
or did you learn it in
yes,
culinary school?
I did this before in school.
Right.
Okay, so when we add the egg, it looks a bit terrible, like it's not coming together. So you just have to work it, like
Mm-hmm.
just really work it until it comes together. Then you add the second egg and
It's
the other egg.
because the egg doesn't really want to mix into the dough and it will be like
Yes,
separated, but you have to kind of almost beat it together, right?
yes, and it will come together eventually,
Okay.
like that. So that's when you add the next one, the second egg.
Mm. It's quite therapeutic, no?
it's it can get quite tiring.
It's quite funny
like,
because I hate baking. To me, I don't really find joy in like measuring ingredients so like
oh
precisely.
yes,
I like to For me, like cooking savory is very fluid. Like if you taste it and it needs more salt, you just add more salt. But in baking, it's like everything needs to be so precise,
yeah,
and I
you
don't
need to
cook like that at all.
measure everything
Yeah,
to the gram
yeah,
because yeah, it's precise like that because once it goes into the oven, you can't do anything already.
exactly. And I think with baking also, people don't realize that like sometimes the amount of sugar or certain ingredients are there because there is a specific like chemical property to it. Like macarons, for example, the sugar is not
Yeah,
just there to sweeten
and even the
the shell,
technique.
it's there to stabilize the egg whites and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so even the technique that is used also can be quite different.
Yeah.
So basically you really just need to be patient and it'll all come together.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
like that.
patience is the commodity we have now that we're in circuit breaker, right? We have so much
Yes.
time on our
So
hands.
now the consistency is like that.
It's a lot more
Um,
sticky, huh?
yeah, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not there yet. So what you
Okay.
want for the last egg, with the fourth egg, is you beat it up and you just drizzle it in a little bit at a time because you don't want to
Ah.
add too much. Because once you get the right consistency, you really can stop.
So the last thing is sort of like adjusting to get the right level you want, and then you just,
Yes. So,
right.
like in school, my chef taught me that you can actually look at how it falls off the spatula. If you get a nice, clean, inverted peak, That's when you know your batter is done.
So someone asked, is it possible to use a whisk to mix? I think what's the answer to that? Do you know?
I think we don't want to add air into this, like whisk and add too much air into the choux pastry. So I'm just gonna add a bit more because it's almost there. And we don't want it to get too runny as well.
Mm-hmm. So I think for those of you who don't know, like choux pastry is what's used in
nice and
Kiat Tapa, cream puffs. So it's super versatile, right? You know, you can put ice cream inside, you can put ganache.
It's very, very good. So now that it's done, I can fill up my piping bag.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have piping bags at home, actually you can use Ziploc bags as well.
And just like cut one of the corners off, right?
Yeah. And even if you don't have a piping tip, you can just use the corner. Don't cut too big a hole so that you can, it's easier to control the choux. It's easier to control the piping.
You're so professional, you even have like the piping tip and everything.
Yeah.
Me, I'll just be like, oh, I'm just gonna cut a hole here and pipe it out.
So yeah, that's why I was like thinking what if there are people who don't have piping tips. So I think y'all cannot see.
Yeah, that's perfect. A bit to your right, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so so really it's up to you to pipe what size you want. Like I said, I like them small. So it's easier to just pop it into the mouth.
So who's gonna be eating this tonight?
I don't know, man, because actually one batch makes a lot. So what you can do is actually after baking, you put them in the freezer. And when you want to eat, you can just take it out and rebake it.
Have you ever had these in like a savory preparation?
No. Like, maybe have cheese inside?
Yeah, I was just thinking like if you grate cheese inside, would that be gougere?
Yeah.
I'm pronouncing this wrong, maybe. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really nice. Because actually without the sugar topping, right, it's not sweet at all. Because we didn't add sugar. And the sugar that was inside initially is only 3 grams. So it's really very little.
So it's basically like a neutral dough lah. Like it's like the 葱油饼 where you can add whatever you want to it, right?
So yes, you can add anything you want.
Yeah.
Basically. So the egg that we have just now, you kind of just use a pastry brush and brush it around gently. And also at the same time, you can press down the tip, the sharp tips.
To give it a more rounded shape.
And with the egg wash, it gives it a nice color as well.
I see. Everyone's saying, wow, so professional.
You know, if my chef sees this and it's not up to standard, I think I'm gonna get a bit from
It's okay, it's life.
So
Let's hope
I'm
he's not
very
tuned in.
nervous too. You know, there's this thing, I know when I was in school, we had to, my exam piece was actually Paris-Brest, this French dessert.
And that's my favorite pastry actually.
The base is actually a choux pastry.
Right.
And the thing is, when I actually prepared the choux and typed it out, somehow I had a gut feeling that it didn't look too good. And true enough, it didn't rise as beautifully as I wanted it to. And with the exams, we only have 2.5 hours. So
Did you remake it?
Yes. It was
Ooh.
such a mad rush. Yeah, but
What
you
was the
get
reason it didn't rise?
the piping wasn't good.
Okay.
So yeah, you're supposed to actually pipe kind of like the wheel, and yeah, it I was just so nervous about the exams. So now there's this
Yeah.
sugar, and we just sprinkle.
Hmm. What kind of sugar is that?
Uh, it's sugar nibs. You also call it pearl sugar.
Right.
Be generous with it.
So how is it different from regular sugar?
So it actually sits nicely on the choux pastry once you
Right.
bake it, and it doesn't like melt into it. So there's a nice
Ah,
crunch.
okay.
And
So
if you
there's a
don't,
bit of that textural contrast between like the crunchiness
yeah,
of the sugar and the softness of the pastry lah.
yes.
Sounds amazing.
And if you don't have this right, it's okay.
Hmm.
Like I said, you can actually, if you have chocolate at home, you can just melt it and dip it in. Or
So
like
a few
if you
people are
feel like
asking, can we use normal sugar?
normal sugar, I don't think so, because normal sugar in the oven would just melt. It'll
Right.
just kind of make your choux pastry a bit soggy and sticky, I think.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say after it's baked, dust it with icing sugar
Hmm.
and then have it. Yeah, that would be a better alternative. So my oven is at 180,
Hmm.
so it's like that. 180, and it just goes in. And I tried it before, right? It would take about, now you can't see my head. it would take about like 20 to 25 minutes, but I'll set it at 20, and then I'll just look at the color.
Yeah.
And when it's the right color, then I will take it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really it's just about watching the color.
So people are asking, where can you buy that fancy sugar that you use? I can't remember the name now.
Oh,
Oh, sugar nibs. Yeah, sorry, sugar
yes,
nibs.
sugar nibs. It's you can actually find it at Phoon Huat. Oh,
Okay.
but if you don't want to go out, please order online. They do delivery.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah, so it's really not necessary. And I actually Googled. So you can actually replace this with the cube sugar, and then you just break it up into like bits. It
Cheap
works.
sugar, like the one you use for coffee and tea?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So those don't melt as well either.
So I've seen people use it as a
Okay.
cheaper alternative, and
Right.
it's easily available as well. It's easier to find.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you just kind of break it up into like smaller pieces like this, and
Yeah.
it works quite the same way, it seems.
Okay. That's very interesting. I've never used that before actually, but then again, I don't bake that often. So,
Yes. So basically, because it's gonna be inside for 20, 25 minutes, this is what it should look like. And it should be empty in the middle, like there's a little air pocket inside.
mm.
Yeah,
So that's where all the
it's
filling will go in
perfect
now.
this way. Yeah, and once you fill it, you can actually feel the weight, and yeah, you know when it's done.
Okay. So is this the same pastry that's used for like eclairs as well?
Yes. So there are so many things that you can do with this, like eclairs, profiteroles,
Yeah.
and no, so many, like even
Cream
like durian
puffs.
puffs.
Yeah,
I'm
all the
sure a lot of
puffs are
people have.
all choux pastry,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's perfect because like if you make a big batch, you can actually freeze it and then like snack on it
Mm,
for the next week or so.
yes. So that's really great. So you
Perfect.
can make a big batch if you want, and if you've got a
Hmm.
big family, it's great for everybody. It's very light, because it's like kind of like empty inside anyway.
So what are you gonna fill with these choux pastries?
Um, I'm thinking like actually just plain vanilla pastry cream would be good. It's really
Okay.
easy to make. And actually, when you mentioned 葱油饼, I was actually thinking of osmanthus infused pastry cream. Yeah, because I think that,
Oh, that would be a good pairing, right?
yeah, flowers
Yeah.
and something, yeah, nice.
So many people are asking to see the close up of the shoe, the one that you already did. Ooh, that looks so good. The color is so
So
nice as well,
that's,
huh?
yeah, so this is the color that you want to get as well. Something that's nice and brown, nicely
And you
caramelized
can still
because
see
of
the sugar,
mm,
what do you call it? Nips?
sugar
Yeah,
nibs.
sugar nips.
Yeah,
Keep forgetting the
that's
name.
why we use this because it doesn't melt down and kind of like just melts into the pastry. Yeah,
Looks perfect.
and when you eat the chiquettes, there's a nice crunch to
Perfect. So,
it.
actually, both Jeanette and I are taking part in the Stay Home for SG challenge. And
Yes.
for those of you who are, staying at home, whether it's cooking, whether it's doing exercise or doing your art, feel free to use the Stay Home for SG hashtag. And I think you might stand a
Mm.
chance to win, not win, but to be featured on the Our SG
SG
challenge.
United.
Yeah, SG United.
SG United hashtag. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you take part in this challenge and tag us, then we could repost and yeah, you may be featured in our Singapore account, right?
Yeah. Our SG, I think.
Yeah, our
Yeah. So
SG.
the hashtag is Stay Home with SG.
And also SG United, right? No?
Yeah, but our challenge one is Stay Home with
Yeah,
SG. So
stay
that's
home
the
for
thing where,
SG.
so everyone is,
Stay home for
like, of
SG
course,
challenge.
yeah, everyone should stay home unless you're going out for like essential services. And
Yeah,
honestly,
and
there's a lot of
if
things to
you,
do at home, I think. Like my mom
yeah,
she's either like gardening or doing yoga or dancing. Today she's like sewing masks for the family. So yeah, she's like, if she can find stuff to do, I'm sure like all of you can find a lot of stuff to do as well.
yeah, and when you post on social media, you can actually share with us like what you're doing at home to keep healthy, stay connected with your friends, and how you're
Hmm.
helping others as well. Yeah, I think that'd be really nice, motivation for a lot of us.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it's important to be like to keep your mind stimulated as well, because you can go kind of like, especially because you're living alone, right? You need to spend time with like friends and family, and like you can just pick up a phone and call someone, or you can do more videos with me and we can do more cooking together.
Okay.
But at some point I'm going to have to try your cooking. So
Mm-hmm,
so you're gonna have to
mm-hmm.
deliver something to me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I actually I don't really like to cook that much at home. I prefer
Hmm.
baking, but you can't really eat like cakes every time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can do the savory and then you can do dessert and then we have like two-course meal.
Yeah,
Just have to
okay.
send half of it to each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. All right, so I think I'm gonna head off. It was so nice cooking with
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
So
same
stay
here.
healthy and stay safe. Not just you, but like everyone in the chat. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in, and everyone stay home, stay healthy, and
Mm,
yeah, find stuff to do. All
yes.
right, bye bye everyone.
Find stuff to do. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye guys. Thank you for joining me. Have fun.